welcome to the GAME.minder Report.
Welcome.
Your weekly source for upcoming gaming news and information for the week of
September
19th.
Oh, that's right. It's September 19th.
You see what we did there? We both didn't know the date, so we pawned it off each other.
Yeah, we're just like, you got it? No,
I have a computer.
Okay, so yes, it is mid-September.
Wow.
Yes, and it is finally starting to feel like mid-September here in Cleveland.
Yes, it is. It's a little nip in the air.
Yeah, it was like 42 when I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Not at all.
Nope.
Negative.
It was not $240 worth of pudding.
Stop it.
So, Jim, I understand that there's some hardware news this week.
Yeah, and some software too. But the big news coming out of the Toyko Game Show.
Yes, Toyko Game Show kicks off
2012.
tomorrow, Thursday, September 20th. So the 20th and the 21st. So Thursday and Friday they have what are called business days, and then it's open to the public over the weekend.
Is it okay? Now, is it technically the 20th in Japan yet? I know we're taping this kind of in the afternoon in Eastern time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I went to the website before we started up here, and I think it was basically. I was just sort of going with what it said on the website.
Sure. No, that's
I know that this announcement that you are about to discuss was technically pre-Toyko Game Show.
Right, and actually the rumor was not anything that was held secret. This had been rumored for a while now. But
Rumored for a while.
The PS3 is officially has a new model out there. It's slimmer and thinner and lighter.
Even slimmer.
It's going to come in the famous PS3 charcoal black. The people in Japan will be able to get white. We won't in North America.
I believe they call it classic white.
Classic white,
Classic white. And yeah, this is actually, I guess, the PS3 Super Slim, because the last one was the PS3 Slim. I still have a PS3 Fat.
Okay.
And here's my only question about this, because this is what is bugging me. I've been playing God of War 3, because I bought that saga. And wow, does the PS3 breathe hard when it's playing that game. Like, seriously, like I was playing God of War 2, and it was just like, fine, you know, whatever. I put in God of War 3, less than 5 minutes into the opening cutscene, the fans were on maximum, and it was like sitting next to an aircraft carrier. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, no word yet if there's any new innards.
Well, there's some. The one thing that I did read is that the power supply, I guess the original PlayStation had like a 300-watt power supply, and the new one has only got like a 160, which I assume has to do with miniaturization. You know, smaller chipset, you know, actually physically smaller chips require less power. So I guess the hope would be if it requires less power, it will also require less cooling.
You would think.
That's what I'm hoping.
The 250 gigabyte pricing in North America will be $269, but that's a bundle with Uncharted 3 and Dust 514. That'll be available in 5 days on September 25th. The 500 gigabyte will be $299, available on October 30th. So it looks to me...
Does that one also come with Games Bundle?
No, that does not come with Games Bundle.
So you can spend more to get one with no games, but a much bigger hard drive, or you can spend more than you spend now, $20 more, right? Because isn't there a $250 now that doesn't come with games?
You know what? I don't know.
I think that's what I read. There's a $250 bundle right now that does not include any games, but it only includes a 160 gig hard drive. So you can get a 250 gig hard drive. It's $20 more, but then you also get 2 games.
And you get it on September 25th. If you want the 500 gigabyte, you have to wait till October 30th.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah. Now also
or buy a 500 gigabyte drive and put it in.
Sure.
Can't you swap them? I'm pretty sure you can. I still have a 40 gig in mine, and man, when I got it, it was like, oh, 40 gigs. Oh, I'm never going to fill up 40 gigs. I just downloaded one of those God of War games that was included in my thing. Like 3 of them were on the disc and 2 of them were downloads. It was a 10 gigabyte download. So I had to literally just delete like, I don't know what, a bunch of stuff. I had to delete a bunch of stuff to make room for this one game, which now takes up a quarter of my hard drive. So I'll be deleting it when I'm done with it.
There you go. The Vita got some more hardware too. There's going to be a blue and a red one that will also be available just in Japan. I believe originally when the Vita was released, it was black and classic white as well. Right. Classic white being only in Japan, and now the classic white will be available in North America.
Alrighty.
Also, a slew of.
Do you remember that when the ads? There were ads that basically had like a white man or like a white woman and a black woman like fighting, and it was like the classic struggle. Get your PS Vita in black or white. It was a huge flap. It was. Like
I feel like I would have known
cultural insensitivity.
Exactly. I was gonna say, a bunch of games have been announced too, and some have been announced to be postponed. The problem is that all these games were just going to be Japan-only releases anyway. There are some that are being filtered out that could have North America down the line, so I'm actually doing some research on that right now to make sure they're in GameMinder. But stay tuned, GameMinder fans, because you may be able to track those Japan releases.
Yes. More news on that at GameMinderReport.com. So go check that out if you want to see what might be coming down the pike in the GameMinder world.
Now, is it coming down the pike or coming down the pipeline, or do both work?
Down the pike is the way I've always heard it.
Okay, because I always heard of coming down the pipeline.
I would say things are in the pipeline, but they come down the pike.
It may be one of those 6 dozen half... Wait, 12, 6 dozen half
6
dozen?
of one, half dozen of the other?
Yeah, 6. I don't know, these are all like dad speak.
Yeah, well, that's a horse. That's a horse of a different color. So anyway, but that's not the only hardware news. We hinted at it last week that there was going to be some Wii U information. We recorded the day before, but now we know what the Wii U is going to be priced at.
Yes, we do. The Wii U was finally announced, and of course, it is going to have 2 different versions.
Yep.
The basic is going to be $300. Well, $299.99. $300. The deluxe will be $349.99. And here's the big thing: they didn't mention anything about a replacement Wii U controller. Because there aren't going to be any available at launch.
Right.
And they also said that if it breaks or anything, you can return it to Nintendo, but there will be a price to fix it, and that price hasn't even been set yet.
Interesting.
I know.
Well, I know that the regular Wii
motion,
motes
the remotes
are going to work with it.
Are going to work fine. It's that the Wii U, touchscreen controller,
right,
which I find very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm probably not going to get one. I mean, maybe someday I'll get one. I'm certainly not getting one at launch. So,
and if you're wondering what the difference between the basic and the premium is, the basic's just going to come with the 8 GB of internal hard drive, 1 gamepad controller. They're actually giving you an HDMI cable.
Yeah.
And then the Wii sensor bar.
I can't wait to see the Best Buy employees trying to convince people that are going to get an HDMI cable in the box why they need to spend $50 to get the 5-foot monster cable.
That's not $50. The monster cable is like $180 because it's gold.
Oh, no. You don't understand. The HDMI in the box, I mean, that'll get the job done.
But if you really want to see Mario,
I mean, this new console is now in like HD, man, which means you need a new special HDMI cable to see all the beautiful colors and the pixels.
Plus? But this says HD Plus on it.
It's like vacuum sealed with golden stuff.
Man, I want to punch Monster.
I know,
or Monster, whatever.
Monster cables, the best cable you could buy.
The funny thing about the Wii U announcement was that 80% of it was on the other features that weren't gaming, like the TV.
Yeah, wasn't there some flap that like games is actually like the third tab over? Like you've got your main tab, then you've got video, and then games, like where you would assume that games would be sort of front and center.
Well, I mean, the 360 not marketplace, but the 360
the
dashboard is somewhat similar.
This is true. I mean, consoles a lot these days are becoming sort of a central sort of nexus for all sorts of entertainment beyond gaming.
Right. And with I'm not going to go over this too much, but I know that you were thinking of this, and I just had a buddy just cut the cord on his cable just to do the Hulu Plus and Netflix.
See, I would. The one thing right now is that my wife still wants to record and doesn't feel right buying crappy reality shows. So we still, and frankly, she doesn't still enjoy a lot of the kids shows that she just tapes on PBS, or not tapes, but DVRs on PBS. And not Nintendo, Nickelodeon Junior and all that other kind of stuff. So we haven't, I mean, I have switched all my viewing over to the Apple TV. But we still have DirecTV because there's still some time.
And unfortunately for me, because I'm a sports fan, I need to have stuff live.
Right.
There isn't a way, and then so therefore I am over the barrel on that one. One last note about things that you can plug into electricity and games come out of them. We talked about this a couple shows ago. The Valve box, we'll call it.
Steambox. I like calling it a Steambox.
I call it the V-box.
Okay. You're wrong. I'm calling it the Steambox.
All right. Anyway, a beta will be available, or will hopefully be available next year.
So now, and maybe, I don't know if it says this in the article, what exactly does a beta hardware release look like? I mean, a beta software release, okay, I get it, beta software, but like beta hardware?
It probably, what my thinking is, and it doesn't say, but this is what I'm thinking, is that it's probably just a generic container with the innards in it.
Okay, does somebody buy it? Are they giving them to certain people?
No, they're going to give them to it's more or less a developer box.
Okay. Well, like a developer, I mean, that happens with, everyone sort of assumes it's happening with, if not the PlayStation 4, at least the Xbox 720 or what have you at this point, that, there are dev boxes out there. But I don't know that I've ever heard them called a beta before.
Well, I guess the thing is they're going to do beta testing on said things.
Right.
So I don't know. What I do know is that there still is no word on whether it will be a controller or it will be a keyboard or mouse setup.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I really like, it would be great, and obviously we did talk about this last time, but I think it would be really interesting if someone could really crack couch-based keyboard and mousing, because there is no really good solution to that at this point, and as a result, there are certain kinds of games that you just won't be able to play well on such a device unless you're literally sitting in front of a desk.
Well, yes. I don't know how you would where you would place it. I mean, I would. Yeah, that would be kind of weird, because you would think that all you would need as far as a keyboard would be just half of the QWERTY. Just like the left half of the QWERTY, and then maybe the mouse is like on top of it, and you're just like sitting that on your lap.
Well, there was that Phantom thing that had it was like kind of a V shape where like the keyboard sort of came over and you mouse underneath.
Yeah.
But I don't know that ever went anywhere.
Well, it's something that we will keep an eye out for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested to see what they come up with, if it is groundbreaking. I mean, it might just be a controller, in which case, okay. But, Valve's a bunch of smart folks over there. So I would not be shocked if they came up with something pretty interesting.
And they've already changed the landscape as far as
distribution
of video games.
Definitely.
So we'll see.
Right on. The last thing is that it is, of course, iOS 6 release day today.
Yes, happy iOS 6 day to you.
It's not iPhone 5 day. That's still a couple days away. But just, for gamers, one thing about iOS 6 that is worth mentioning, as long as we're here, is that there are some pretty significant upgrades to Game Center happening. Obviously, that's more for probably the Angry Birds crowd, but I think what they're trying to do with Game Center is make it less about the Angry Birds crowd. So like there's some pretty cool stuff happening there. Like one of the main things is that the ability to do things like asynchronous multiplayer. So the kind of thing where you will, like, I could challenge you to a racing game, and maybe you're not able to play right now, so I can run my lap, and then when you pick it up, it'll run. You can run your lap with me on, like, with the recording of mine, but it's actually not a ghost. This was in real. I think it's Real Racing 3. This is one of the things they showed off.
Right.
It was actually, excuse me. It was actually a real. It was like you wouldn't drive through me. Like you could actually jostle for position my recorded thing, and they would sort of like. I don't exactly know how they're doing it, but it's supposed to be pretty cool. Some of the other things they're doing is the ability to immediately jump back into a rematch. Without having, and this is more from a developer side, like without us having to tear down and reset up a whole new multiplayer session, they can just sort of, with a couple lines of code, just jump right back in. But it aims to be a more frictionless experience on Game Center, which I think is always a good thing, especially since, a lot of these games are very sort of jump in, jump out. Anything that can alleviate any sort of the difficulties there, I think is going to make for a pretty interesting experience.
Yes, and if they can make it so that Game Center is not something that I have to actually like quit the game and go back into, if it was a more seamless transition that I can go back and forth without having it almost seem like a big stop, that'd be very helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that the terms and conditions just did get updated, so we'll see.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting. So that is out now. So go download it if you haven't yet for your iOS device.
But beware, because bad things could happen.
Just make sure you got a backup. All right, so coming out this week. A couple games we're going to highlight this week. FIFA 13 is coming out for literally anything with a screen.
Yes. I was about to say, my joke that I was preparing myself for, so now it's really going to be bad, is that I was going to flash my my microwave and install FIFA on that.
Because it's literally, like, I think it's available for every single platform that's in GAME.minder.
Even PlayStation 2. I don't understand.
Yeah. We got Torchlight 2. For you Mamorpaga fans, we got World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria. So that's another expansion, I assume. I'm not a big WoW guy.
I believe the third or fourth expansion of World of Warcraft. I did play World of Warcraft for a minute and stopped. I luckily did not get addicted.
I've always been afraid of even trying because I know myself and I know I know how much I enjoy RPGs, and I could see. I mean, I know that when I play through a Skyrim, just don't even talk to me for a month and a half. I'm gone. So if I were going to do something that literally has no end and just keep going, I could very easily disappear.
The problem, though, I think, is that you have to do things in groups. And with the difference for doing like a Skyrim or Diablo, you can do the whole thing on your own and still have enjoyable. Yeah. So that was where my problem was, is that I couldn't find anyone that I liked that was able to play at the same time, so I gave up.
We got one for you, Jimmy P. Family Guy, Back to the Multiverse. I know that you're a big Family Guy.
I was. I believe they may have jumped the shark.
Oh yeah.
But I do like me.
I have watched it. I have enjoyed it. I would not say that I follow it. Like for instance, the way that I don't follow it the way that I, for instance, follow Archer. Like Archer, I've now watched every episode in that series like 17 times, and I cannot wait for the next season to come out.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, no, thank you. I do appreciate it. And then the last one we'll mention is Little Big Planet Beta.
Beta
is coming out this week.
Finally.
And I like I said, I'm not a Vita guy, so I'm not going to play it. And I honestly didn't even play it when it was on PlayStation 3. But
yeah, Little Big Planet and Minecraft were two games that I have not gotten into.
I actually downloaded Minecraft for 360 because it's free to try out or whatever. So I downloaded it, and I don't get it.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that and lots of people have been asking for the Minecraft Pocket Edition to get put in GameMinder. Well, it actually is in GameMinder under iOS, but every time there's an update, people think it's the new one. But the iOS version's been out since 2011.
Yeah.
And I guess there was another big update, but an update's an update. So, oh well.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, Jim, so what game are you going to follow this week?
The game that I'm going to follow this week is called Clumsy Ninja. It was the game that was also featured at the iPhone 5.
Okay.
And basically, it is a game that had been developed through in cooperation with Oxford University.
Okay.
And it has this really, really awesome real time physics and motion. The game also will have some artificial a really intuitive artificial intelligence that's going to learn how you play.
Interesting.
Yes, from what I understand, it's going to be more of a puzzler platformer than an adventure action. The details of all the details I've been reading about is what the development of the game has been, because I guess this game has been in development for 10 years, and a lot of what was put in this was in a racing game and another game called Wild Horses.
And Wild Horses.
Thank you.
Couldn't drag me away.
Are we going to edit this?
No.
Okay.
That is staying in, damn it.
But yes, Natural Motion are the people that developed this game, and it really looks good. I guess now that I'm looking it up, it's the Euphoria engine that had been developed for over 10 years. Finally this game has found a home.
Right on.
Do you have a pick today?
I do. I am following Midway Arcade Origins, which is coming out in November sometime. And it's basically, it's going to hopefully sate the retro gamer in me, because it basically is a collection of 30, as they say, 30 arcade classic games, including, wait for it,
okay,
Gauntlet,
check,
Joust, Spy Hunter,
wow,
yeah, Marble Madness, Defender, and Rampage. So, I mean, just listing those, and that's not even all of them. I can't wait to see exactly what it's going to have, because I mean at least 3 of those. I can't wait to play Spy Hunter again. Come on, I used to play that. Probably slightly different version because of the arcade version, but I played the Commodore 64 version, and man, was it awesome.
Yeah, Marble Madness is something, even though it's not going to have the ball tracking, but it's going to be fun to play.
Okay, let's clean it up, okay, Jim?
Sorry, phrasing.
Phrasing.
But just to tie this whole show back together with the brand new hardware that we're talking about and the game that you just mentioned, I really feel like it's time for the 720 and the PS4, because it totally seems like all we're doing is just rehashing old games.
I concur.
Remaking old games.
Remaking all those games.
There's nothing new. It's just HD version this and HD version that.
And we leave you with this thought. There ain't nothing new under the sun. So that's going to do it for the GameMinder Report this week. To view the show notes for this episode or to follow any of the games mentioned today, don't forget to visit GameMinderReport.com.
And to see when the newest games are listed, don't forget to follow GameMinder on Twitter or visit Facebook.com/GameMinder.
And finally, to follow all your favorite upcoming games, don't forget to visit GameMinder.com or download the app for iOS or Android. Signing off for the Game Minder Report, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Jim, reminding you, don't forget to play.